What if I told you that one of the most respected defenders in history, the man who faced the best forwards on the planet for more than 2 decades, just said that Cristiano Ronaldo is not even close to Messi or Maradona? He didn't hint at it, he said it, straight up. And the most shocking part, he said it publicly in a documentary, knowing his words were going to shake the entire conversation. Paolo Maldini, Milan legend, icon of the Italian national team, has just left Cristiano out of his historical podium. And not out of whim, but out of conviction. Because when Maldini speaks, he doesn't do it out of fanaticism. He does it from experience, from respect, from having shared the field with Ronaldo Nazario, from having faced Maradona, and from having watched Messi redefine football from the privileged seats of those who understand the game like very few do. And in that context, his statement is not just an opinion. It is a verdict. In the documentary Ronaldo the Phenomenon, Maldini reveals his top 3 historical footballers, Messi, Maradona, and Ronaldo Nazario. And yes, Cristiano Ronaldo's absence is as loud as it is revealing. Because we're not talking about a journalist looking for clicks. We're talking about a defender who faced everyone, who saw up close what very few have seen, who knows what it's like to mark a genius and what it's like to mark an athlete. And with that perspective, he decided that Cristiano is not part of the same conversation. And why? What did Maldini see that many don't? What did he feel facing Maradona that he never felt watching Cristiano? What did Messi transmit that earned him that podium spot without Maldini ever having faced him? The answer lies in impact, in what a player generates beyond numbers. Because yes, Cristiano has more goals than almost everyone, more trophies than many, but not more records than Messi. And that is key. Because if we're going to talk statistics, we need to talk precisely. Messi has more team titles, more Ballon d'Or awards, more assists, a better goal per game average, and more technical records that define the game. So if Maldini chooses him over Cristiano, it's not just because of what he feels. It's also because of what he knows. Because if football were only about statistics, Cristiano would be indisputable. But football isn't played in Excel. It's played in the skin, in memory, in the soul. And that's where Messi and Maradona separate themselves from the rest. Because they didn't just win, they didn't just shine. They made football something else, something bigger, something more human, something more magical. Messi, with his silence, with his humility, with his left foot that seems to have an emotional GPS, achieved something few ever have, moving people without speaking. Maradona, with his rebelliousness, his overflowing talent, his story of light and shadows, became a myth. And Ronaldo Nazario, with his power, his technique, his smile, was the forward everyone feared and everyone admired. Cristiano, on the other hand, represents something different. Extreme professionalism, absolute discipline, the constant pursuit of perfection, and that also has merit, a lot of merit. But for Maldini, it is not enough to be in the Olympus, because Olympus is not earned, it is felt. Not everything that shines is legacy. Sometimes legacy doesn't shine, but it illuminates. And that is what Maldini is saying. That legacy is not measured in goals. It is measured in memories, in sensations, in moments that change you. And in that sense, Messi and Maradona are in another galaxy. Now I ask you, do you agree with Maldini? Is Cristiano really below Messi and Maradona? Or can legacy also be built through obsession and effort? In the world of football, where every word weighs more than a through ball in the 90th minute, what Paolo Maldini said was not just an opinion. It was a declaration that shook the foundations of the most persistent debate of the last 2 decades, Messi versus Cristiano. And he did it without seeking controversy, without raising his voice, without needing decoration. He said it as someone who knows he does not need to convince anyone, because his trajectory speaks for him. Maldini, one of the most elegant and respected defenders in history, with more than 900 elite matches, with duels against Maradona, Ronaldo Nazario, Zidane, Ronaldinho, chose his podium of the 3 best footballers of all time. And he did it in an official documentary, with cameras, lights, and context. It wasn't a casual conversation over coffee. It was a public statement. Messi, Maradona, and Ronaldo Nazario. And yes, Cristiano Ronaldo was left out. Now then, Why does this matter so much? Because Maldini is not an influencer, not a journalist, not a retired player craving attention. He is someone who lived football from the inside, who faced the best, who understood the game from defense, from tactics, from respect for talent. And when someone like that speaks, football listens. What Maldini is saying, without saying it directly, is that football is not measured only by titles, that there is something more important than numbers, that there are players who transcend because of what they provoke, not because of what they accumulate. And in that sense, his choice is forceful. Maradona, the rebellious genius who turned every match into a theatrical performance. Ronaldo Nazario, the forward who redefined speed, technique, and fear in the box. And Messi, the silent artist who turned football into a symphony. 3 different styles, 3 different eras, but the same thread: emotional impact. Cristiano, on the other hand, represents something else: physical perfection, absolute discipline, obsession with records. And that also has merit. A lot. But for Maldini, it is not enough to be in the Olympus, because Olympus is not earned with abs. It is earned with moments that change how you see football. And this is not an attack on Cristiano. It is a reflection on what we value in sports. Is winning more important, or is moving people? Is the one who breaks records more valuable, or the one who breaks hearts? What remains when numbers fade? Maldini, with his statement, forces us to rethink everything. He forces us to look beyond marketing, beyond followers, beyond trophies. He forces us to ask what we truly remember about a player: their goals or their gestures, their titles or their silences, their statistics or their impossible plays. And in that territory, Messi is unreachable. Because he didn't just win, he didn't just shine. He made football something else, something purer, something more human, something more magical. And that, for someone like Maldini, who saw everything, who faced everyone, who understood the game like few ever have, weighs more than any Ballon d'Or. What Maldini said is not a provocation. It is an invitation to look at football with different eyes, to value the intangible, to understand that legacy is not measured in trophy cabinets, but in emotions, and that, in that sense, Messi and Maradona are in another galaxy. Because at the end of the day, trophies get stored away. But moments are felt, and that, in football, is what truly matters. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to the channel. Because here, we don't just analyze football. We live it, we discuss it, and we feel it just like you.